Before being used in Broadside's cruel experiments with Starlings, Brandon Lester was an actor hired by the company to work at Broadside Beach, an island resort situated in the Bahamas. Eventually, he was chosen to wear the buggy suit while on the island for guests. However, one day Brandon would die due to a fentanyl overdose, with the company covering up his death and taking his body to their laboratories. After this, they would inject Brandon's body with the organic material found in the stitch caves of Terra, bringing him back to life as Bucky. His violent actions would result in the correction of the other Starlings. Before becoming Olive, Olivia was a voice actor for the character hired by Broadside, later being moved to Broadside Beach after a position to live there opened up. After moving there, she would be introduced to the Bucky Starling, upon which the gruesome people would begin to stalk her at night, with his behavior growing more and more erratic each night. Eventually, one night Bucky would break into Olivia's cabin and attack her, knocking her out unconscious and dragging her toward a lake, where he would ultimately drown her. After her body was found, Broadside would use it in their Starling program, resurrecting her as Olive the Otter. Prior to becoming Giovanni, Gary Wilson worked at Broadside as a voice actor for the Giovanni character, being relocated to Broadside Beach and made into a mascot handler. One day, Gary would be roaming the kitchens of the resort after a long day at work, only to encounter Brandon. The beaver would proceed to violently attack him, slamming his head repeatedly into a cabinet before dumping him into a deep fryer, ultimately killing the man. After this, Broadside would discover his body and put it into the Starling program, resurrecting him as Giovanni. Prior to his transformation into Walter, Nathan Stewart was an animator and voice actor for Broadside, working within the animation department of Broadside Beach. Nathan would wander in the animation studio one night when he was stumbling into Brandon, who was able to violently beat the man with an office chair. Broadside would then cover up his death by putting his body into the Starling program, resurrecting the man as Walter Walrus. Prior to his death, Rex was the founder of Broadside Animations and the creator of Bucky and his animal friends, as well as his very first character, Blot, which would be taken from him to greedy companies. Throughout the years, Rex would grow more and more distant with his company, believing that they saw him as more of a remarkable name rather than a person, which was proven true by the creation of Broadside Beach. Shortly after this, Rex would be diagnosed with cancer, and after expressing his dissatisfaction with the path his company was going down, would die of said illness. After his death, Broadside would go down a downward spiral and wanted to compete with the likes of Disney, figured that they needed their founder back in the company to be successful again. This would cause the company to kickstart the Starling program, with the various data from the previous experiments eventually allowing the company to resurrect Rex as his Blot character.